So now let's look at the cross Ashi. And typically speaking, we're going to talk about the primary leg is the leg within the cross Ashi. It can be triangled, it could be foot to foot, it could be other leg configurations with this. Again, make sure to check out some of the other great leg instructionals that are out there. You'll learn a lot of the information of what's going to work best for you. This is our secondary leg. It's typically held with a guillotine kind of grip to attack an ankle lock, or you could switch to other grips, reverse figure four, everything else. What we're going to look to do now is use the George Samuelson lock to set this up where now we're actually going to be attacking a lot on this leg and force Brandon into some really bad spots of whatever decision he typically is going to make is probably going to be bad. So now, we may be falling to the side, we may be foot to foot. You already feel some good pressure out of this. If I really wanted to turn this into almost like an Aoki lock, I can always lean my upper by back like I'm throwing the uppercut, and now you feel that as the Aoki, right? If I need to be tournament legal, that may be one option. If you can hide your hands a little bit more, there's a little secret so the rest don't see it. However, if I'm in typical kind of grip where he's trying to grip fight, hand to fight, and hold on my arms, that's gonna be harder for me to do. So now, if I feel that happening, go ahead, take a good grip on me, keep a good grip. So I can't really pass this over, I can hip up and in. Well, what I can also do is start to take my knees and start to point them towards the sky. As I start to point them towards the sky, that's gonna allow me to take my left hand, the hand that you're holding on tight, start to reach back by leaning my upper by back and cover right around Brandon's toes. Similar to what we've done in many other foot locks and situations is now we can be able to take this, take my other hand and cover it up 2 to 1 and pass this over to the other side. When I go to pass, you're gonna see again, if I'm lazy with this, I end up in a cross ankle lock position and this is not gonna work. If that was the case, the way that I get the heel back in is I think like I'm throwing like an overhand left. So don't let me, I have this. If I think like I'm throwing an overhand left, so my thumb turns down, my shoulder's relaxed, now I actually get his heel where I want it actually placed. If we did this right the first time, what would end up happening is once we got into our chest here, I lean back, I push this over, I throw that overhand left again, thumb down, and I still get that glued. When I'm here, I have the ability to start again, gun choke grip to start, rear naked choke, and I can still get a finish out of this. With my rear naked choke, I hit a rotational finish. You feel this into the foot, going into the ankle from here. The nice thing about this is we can now start looking at the foot configuration. Brandon could be holding onto my arms to not let me finish the choke. You can make a good grip, make a good grip. So maybe I don't get a full rear naked choke. Maybe I go back to a gun choke grip. I go, let me look at his legs. His left knee is kind of bent a little bit, so I can hook this and I can straighten. And now I get back in, I'm finishing the choke out of this position. And if Jared comes down a little bit towards Brandon's left leg, you'll see my left foot hooking right against his left knee, or I'm sorry, his left hip. Keep your good grip. So now I feel that and I go, all right, I may try to get the finish, but you got 2 hands on this thing, like you're holding on for dear life. He's going, all right, I can't really get this. Well, good, look what he just gave me. He gave me his primary leg. So he's holding on to this. So now I can just go ahead and hit a lateral knee bar where I just back elbow and I hip in, and you feel this right onto the knee. If I'm holding into this position, keep holding this tight, and now he feels that coming, and I go to hip up, one of the things that he may try to do is come up a little bit more, slide his weight back to the side. Well, as that happens, well now you'll see that he's giving me the ability to get in on the heel hook from here. Key thing with this is now the best grip I can maintain is I keep my left arm, in this case, the one holding the George Samuelson lock, glued to the chest. My right arm is now going to throw that uppercut. Now I'm just going to go wrist to wrist. When I talk wrist to wrist, I'm saying both palms facing me, I'm giving myself a hug, right? Or I'm making an X over the top. When I'm here, I have the ability, I can go foot to foot. If I say, Brandon, wiggle your leg inside the primary leg, wiggle that. That feels pretty tight, locked up. Where do you feel a lot of the pressure? Foot, ankle, knee? On this one right now?
Foot.
Okay, and how about this one?
Ankle.
Cool. So now I can then decide if I want to put more pressure on, I can go foot to foot, open this up and start to open up like my hips. And when I'm using like my hip bridge, I'm not thinking do this big, huge bridge, but I'm doing enough to drive in. Now you feel what?
Knee.
In which one? This one?
Yeah.
Cool. So the other side of this though is that he may feel me trying to attack this, Before I get to any of the spot, he starts to try to rotate away. Because if he tries to rotate towards this way, now you feel this go from the foot, the ankle, into the knee on that one. So remember, the key with the George Samuelson lock is that he has to turn this knee towards his right side. Well, now I'm pinning his hip into external rotation. So a common defense to the inverted heel hook, the leg that's in the primary leg being attacked, is he has to be able to turn his leg, take this one, and leg curl it behind my back, other way. So as he does that, where do you feel most of the pressure? Again, on that one. So as he goes to hide this leg, well, now he just foot, ankle, and if he comes too much into me, you feel that going into your knee, right? So as he feels that pressure, the natural tendency again is he's gonna turn away. Well, now he just gave me the ability to do that. And as he goes and turns away, go ahead. Where do you feel most of that?
Ankle.
On?
My right.
On his right here. So now, if he continues to turn, go slow, go slow, go slow, go slow. Now you have the ability to lock that cross Ashi and lock a triangle behind. You could still finish a knee bar by going foot to foot, or you could even come over the top and get to like this far hip position. Now from here, if he still turns belly, like he tries to rotate through, where do you feel most of that pressure?
Ankle.
Cool. If he tries to turn belly back up, turn the other way, where do you feel that again?
Ankle.
And now at any point, if he just tries to hold here or tries to boot into me, push into me, if I hip up, you feel that into your knee. So now the beauty of this is also, well, now if he thinks, here's the bait, well, I could reverse toe hold him. So I'm giving him this foot to think that he could dive on a reverse toe hold. So just cover like my heel with that. Yep. And if he goes to do it, go ahead. Where, you feel it where?
My ankle.
Right, because now at any point, if I go ahead and hip in, he's ultimately taking away his only way to defend, which would be to actually try to clear out of the grips. If he tries to foot lock me in this position, he ends up foot locking himself.